So here we are back in Mark, the active gospel, the do, immediately. We're only in chapter 7 in Matthew, which has the same story. It's up to chapter 15. So all the other gospels take their time setting things up. But Mark, let's get busy immediately. And if we think about the previous verses in chapter 6 through chapter 7, all the things that have gone on, he starts out back home, where he's not treated very well, and the prophet is without honor in his own home. Then we have the news about John the Baptist, which must have cut to the heart, because John the Baptist was well respected by the populace. John the Baptist was Jesus' cousin and his predecessor, and paving the way. And now making it clear that the way led to death. Feeding the 5,000. We fed 50 yesterday. Feed 5,000. Jesus did that. Then he sent everybody away. He walked on the water. Gets over to the other side, and who should be trucking up from Jerusalem but the Pharisees, complaining about how he was not following the rules. And so he has to confront the Pharisees. And then the disciples. What did you mean, Jesus, when you said all that about what comes into your body is okay, but it's defiling what comes out? What does that mean? And Jesus is going, you guys, when are you going to get this? And now we have the story. He goes from the Sea of Galilee all the way up, well, it's 25 miles, say, but he's walking. That's as the crow doesn't fly. And then it says, and Mark adds this in. Mark adds all these details, and we try to figure out what it may mean. But instead of going from Tyre, which is kind of on the coast, back to Decapolis, which is by the Sea of Galilee, he goes up another 10 miles north to Sidon, and then all the way back or whatever. And of course, there must be ministry we don't know about. Things happen that are not included. But, I mean, Jesus has been busy. And it's mentioned several times. He's trying to get away, trying to have a moment. So we come to the story, the prayer book lections just have the story of healing the deaf man back until we went with the new lection that added on this first part with the Syrophoenician woman. So it's hard work, I guess what I'm pointing. He was trying to get away. They bring to him the deaf man. And he says, okay, let's just step away. And we get the description of the things he has to do. Now, sometimes, of course, it's almost just like, snap your fingers and it's done. But Jesus has to take this man, and we get a list of the details of what he has to do. Throughout all this, we might get the idea again that Jesus is frustrated by people just getting things. They brought the deaf man to him to be healed. Okay, the deaf man is healed. What does that have to do with building the kingdom? And I know we've got lots of answers, but that's Jesus' purpose, is to build the kingdom. And it's his compassion that's often mentioned as why he does the miracles and the good deeds. We're at the Gospel of John talks about building signs, so that all these wonderful things Jesus does are signs to the rest of us that yes, Jesus is holy, the Son of God. But the other side of that is Jesus does it because he cannot not do it. Someone comes to him and he says, I feel your pain, and let's deal with that. I have to help you. So there's this difficulty. everyone comes to me, that's great, says Jesus, but is all they want to be fed, to be healed, to be saved? Is it all about them thinking about themselves and their position? Is this message supposed to be so easy? We believe in Jesus and, oh, everything's going to be fine. We're healed. Is that, Jesus does the work, we're free. Well, of course, preceding the deaf man, we have this difficult story of the Syrophoenician woman. And I'm tempted to put on my presidential spokesperson hat and spin this tale. Well, it didn't mean, and it wasn't this, and all of that. And the commentaries, talk about it and try to, and make good points, no doubt. But I'm willing to just say, look, Jesus, when he got to this point and this woman came up, he was going away. It says he was trying to get away. He wanted a moment, and here she busts in, falls down at his feet, and begs for him to do something else. And we have to remember the full story of Jesus. He's fully human. We're willing to... He suffered agony on the cross. He wept at his friend's death. He had great joy and loved the rich young man. Jesus felt things. Jesus was human. And we can't deny that, because if we go on that other side, then we lose the power of Jesus' ministry here among us. So here he is. He's tired and he's frustrated. He's been doing all this work. And where is it leading? Even his closest friends, his disciples, don't seem to be getting what he's about. And this will continue, of course. Heal me, let me go on my way. Is that the message? The Pharisees, we often hear about arguing against the Pharisees and seem to think, well, they're bad people, but no, these guys are the good guys. The Pharisees really are, even though they are up against Jesus. What is the argument? So he calls them hypocrites. He was probably a little frustrated last week when they came all the way from Jerusalem just to wag their fingers and say, well, you didn't wash your hands. Well, please. The Pharisees are good people, and their hypocrisy is simply that they know that they're good people in their heads. We've done everything right. What's left? We're good. There was the story about the monks all dressed up in their robes, and one disciple was saying, well, look at them, these holy men, and the guru is saying, oh, well, no, they're not so holy. And so the disciple says, well, they're all doing everything right. He says, we'll come up on the tower. Just wait. So the monks are all going by in their holy robes, doing everything just right. And the guru yells down, hey, holy men! And they all look up, because they know they're the holy men. That's who you're talking about, us. Is that how we respond? Hey, Christians! Oh, yeah? Are we there? So, once again, Jesus is confronted with doing all these miracles as signs or as a result of his compassion. He can do no other. His hope is for there to be more. Healing, feeding, salvation, yes. But do the gospel. Don't just receive it. The miracles are meant to be life-changing, I believe. To see the world in a whole new way. Those events in our life where we can step outside of our own selves, our own ego, and just be one with the universe, if we want to put it that way. And I know we perhaps feel those are the easy new way of looking at them, things, but we really do need to, I think, a big part of Jesus' message is that step outside of yourself. It's not about you. It's about God's kingdom. And so forget yourself. The rich man, give up everything and follow me. Well, I can't give up everything. Well, whatever it is. Even the Pharisees, give up your thinking that you got it. Be one with the world. Those who need our help. Those who are poor. So we have the Proverbs readings and James's readings. Your spiritual self is more important than the things you gather. Your attitude toward others is more important than the things that you have. So again, it's get out of ourselves is the message. And yes, we want to be the heart and hands of Jesus, not because we think that's our building block to heaven. And Mark is active, do, but let's not forget just to be. It's not all about filling every moment with another activity. To step outside of ourselves, well, some of us need to do that, to step out of ourselves. Keeping the Sabbath holy might mean, the trucker who wrote the book and said, for me, my salvation was being active and working. He had a college education and, was very thoughtful. But he had to be active. He had to work. So keeping Sabbath might mean keeping busy. But the full life that Jesus asks us to be, the full life that Jesus asks us to live, is not just activity, but as he tries to do so often, step outside and just connect with God. Feel God's creation, and in this sense, build the kingdom.